Hello, storytellers. Storytelling Ron. I'm going to go through some modern day news for you to get ideas to make adventures in your Christian RPGs. Why? Because we see reality. We see the truth, and in our games, we should always represent some sort of truth, lesson, story, but plenty of adventure, plenty of hardcore, way more intense adventure in a Christian RPG than in D&D or any other RPG. They homogenize it. They make it childish. It's routine. Even though, see, that's the thing about role playing. You are firing all cylinders. You're using your brain. You're thinking about it. You're changing your own whole psychology. You're getting into it like a fandom, and yet we're being lulled. We're being lulled into a stupid homogenous, giant red dragon, which is like, they make these big crazy demons, big magical things. But the reality is, a bear is much more frightening to me, or a Democrat is much more frightening to me than some demonic thing that they draw or create. So let me go through some real world stories to show you how you can get ideas in your game to play, to put something down. And it's to fellowship and to teach edification and to teach your kids to see this kind of stuff. So let's do another one here. This is my adventure ideas. Okay. Squatters have taken over 1,200 homes in Atlanta, and if you try to remove them, they might shoot you, so good luck with that. So, imagine that. You got a home, probably in some rich neighborhood, you worked your whole life for this, and then you go on vacation, you come back, and violent people, gangs or whatever, in your home. And they have a network, and so they know who's leaving. It says here, they have a network of people who know who's leaving an area. One group set up a strip club. They had car races in a neighborhood, and they were a gang. So imagine if you as a neighbor tried to confront them. You would get beaten. You would get threatened. You can get shot. They had a service here where people are hiring a service to try to clear them out. And one of the service agents got shot. And the police said their hands are tied. So the Democrats won Atlanta, and this is what they're doing. They're allowing people to steal your home. Okay, so in a role-playing game, you have roving gangs and a criminal syndicate who come in and take people's property, and the people are left out in the streets, or whatever, village. It can be a village, wherever. And you see people, and then when you see them on the street, the Christians are obviously going to go up and talk to them. And are you poor? No, that we had these homes. These were our homes. This was our farm. That was our tavern. That was our whatever. And the gangs have taken over. And of course, they're going to go, take out this gang or whatever, deal with it. And they're going to get violent. And they're going to find out that almost the whole town or village or whoever runs the place allows it. And let me give you a real good example of that here. And actually, that's going to tie in with the next one. So I'm going to do both of these. And then I'll tie in and show you how you can apply it to the game. Americans are now under $1.13 trillion in credit card debt. Guess which age group is having the toughest time of all of it? I think the age group that the Democrats are really pushing to vote for them because they say they're going to save them. Yet here they are destroying them. Under Trump, my family's wealth was huge. Now we're living very frugally. Under Trump, we had a ton of money. Now we're living very frugally. This is in 3 years? Ridiculous. Since the lockdowns, just so you know, it was kind of a private thing, but whatever. Since the lockdowns, and that to me, Trump fell for that. So I'll agree that yes, we failed there. Trump fell for it, but it was Democrats coordinated that. Bricks and Fauci telling him from an adulterer who didn't follow his own research of 2 million people dying, went out and had an adulterous affair during the lockdown. They used that report to frighten him, just like Democrats do at the end of every Republican presidency with a disaster, economic or whatever, to shut down the economy. So since that and Biden, my wife has been laid off from her fashion work for twice now. Doing hard work, no matter how hard you work, the Democrats are going to wipe it all out. That's what they do. But we'll be okay, but it's just pretty annoying, right? Life-changing and annoying. But so people are in debt, and that's another thing. Here in LA, I just wonder. There's so many young people here, but they must be part of this. They must be part of this huge slave class now. It's a slave class. In the Bible, it's called usury, and it's a sin. Usury is illegal, and the Jews had 7 years. They allowed 7 years of credit to help the poor and get them going or whatever. But at the 7th year, it was like a Sabbath. You had to give up. You had to clear the debt. In other words, they knew you couldn't be you. If you owed someone, you were clear of it. So that's where the bankruptcy laws come into play as well. You can actually clear yourself of a debt if if it's a hardship. But and then in the Bible, God complained that you guys were not following my edict to clear people every 7 years. So the Jews would get stuck in, they would get greedy and not forgive the debts every 7 years. And then some people took advantage of it by, going into debt right before the 7th year, and then assuming that the person would have to forgive them for it. So all kinds of problems happen. And so debt is slavery. It's you're enslaved to whoever you owe the money to, and you shouldn't go into debt. And I was a what do you call it? That was one of my sins for sure. I don't consider it a mortal sin, but it's definitely a bad sin, and it causes life problems for you. But anyway, so these two, squatters and debt. This is a way for evil to just kind of beat down on you, steal from you, take away your individual rights, enslave you. Okay, I have this cool mission, and my players are watching. Get out, and well, I appreciate your support. I'm just gonna ruin it, but anyway, I don't care. I gotta show you guys what's going on. So look at this cool freaking. This is what you can do in my game. You can build stuff like this. And I have all these are your assets to use, and see how. And I use multiple things for different things. This is I use this for spaceships. I use it for mines, and I use it for floating platforms and for ocean platforms, or whatever. And this is the Solaqua, and these are what do I call these guys? I call them Decanoids. And the Decanoids, so see, we can have our own cool Star Wars. So these are Decanoids, which are genetically modified humans. And they're kind of wacky and weird. They're going to be kind of evil-y, sort of evil. I mean, whatever. But they can be converted. They can be saved. But they have a village of humanoids that are basically the workers, the poor. And what they do then is every now and then they'll go in and make up some, because they're pagans, make up some laws and oppress and beat them up with sticks or whatever, stun guns, and take their stuff. So they keep them down. They keep them down by bringing either roving gangs and no law enforcement won't do anything purposely. This is the boss over here, but the law enforcement won't do anything, and so they secretly hire roving gangs to go around and mess them up. Now, if the roving gangs are confronted and stopped by hopefully the Christian missionaries, they will then do something else more dastardly. They will draw in a sea beast to go in and wreak havoc. See? So then those are the cool sort of things that they got to figure out and get them to stop. And then it's Christian missionaries. You got to get the big crime boss. It's basically like a mini crime area with a fishery, but that's what they cause. And so then now the players got to figure out how to deal with this. I don't even know how they're gonna deal with it. And this is a space adventure, and then and the crime boss is gonna be someone tricky and vicious, and I got some other stuff up my sleeve, gonna trick them with, that I can't tell you because they're freaking watching these videos. I can't freaking. Oh man. Anyway, it's cool though. It's cool. I got another cool thing going on here that I want to. I'm gonna just dang it. Because I know they're watching. But I gotta promote. This is for GMs though. This videos and channels for GMs. But oh man, so I got this going on here. Okay, just whatever. So they're gonna send them out to hopefully get this job where they go out to this. All planets are terraformed. They're terraformed like terraform factories, and so this is like a unit part of that terraforming unit, and it's like an exhaust port or whatever, and they think it's clogged, so they want to go out and get it unclogged. And yeah, so anyway, okay, whatever. Let me go back to my so you can, there's all kinds of adventures like that you can do concerning squatters and oppressing the poor to keep them down, keep them in debt. Oh, and obviously the people here, could all be in debt. And this is like, you could do this for a village too in medieval times. They're all in debt to the baron or to the crime lord because they're always being ruined. As soon as they build up some wealth, the gangs come in and steal it and keep an eye on it and spy on them and take their stuff and keep them down, so that they can never get above, get out of their poor enslavement to whoever's in charge. And you could do that in a village too. When you go into the village, everyone is, they're all slaves. Why are they all slaves? They're roaming around slaves. Oh, we are indebted for our crops were burned by roving gangs, or you can come up with anything like that. And then they find out that this roving gang, or gangs that the baron is allowing to have, is creating these problems that are ruining the economy. Not putting criminals away, no bail, blah blah blah. All that stuff is purposely enslaving us then to this democrat economy that is running. I feel like we're occupied. So it's just my opinion. I think that we're occupied. I feel like I should tell Republican officials, campaigners, you don't campaign to the people, campaign to the election officials. That's who you need to campaign to, because they're running the elections. It's not even us, the voters, that get to say. It's the election officials who run every election. Those are the ones that seem to have all the power now. Tell them, do they want their children to live in a Marxist state, or do they want them to live in a free state? Do they want their children? I really think that whole thing needs to be looked at and revamped or protected. Okay, so final thought here. Alan Winston Fillion created a website and was selling his swatting services online to radical leftists where they could purchase his SWAT for a fee. Okay, so in conservative circles, we know that there's been swatting, and swatting is basically an attempt at murder. It's a lynching. It's a modern day lynching, in the sense of you're sending people out in the middle of the night, going to go kill someone. And another thing about the KKK lynchings, when you say blacks were lynched, that is not 100% correct. 5,000, I believe, lynchings, over many decades. When the Union soldiers left, the Democrats retook the South with an iron fist, and the Republican Party was wiped out. The Grand Old Party was there because the Union soldiers were there after the Civil War, and were building up political offices for the local blacks and liberals who wanted to be free. The Democrats formed the KKK, which was so powerful back then because it was run on the police and the judges, and it wiped out lynched 5,000 Republicans. That's 100% correct. If you say lynched Republicans, you are 100% correct. They did not lynch black people necessarily. If you were black and you were submitting to the Democrat Party, or acting like a slave or whatever, they didn't go after you. They weren't bothered by you. But if they knew you were a party official of the Republican Party, the Grand Old Party, they executed you. They lynched you. They tortured you, and they did it in a way to torture and frighten everyone else. That's what they did, and that history is being erased right today by the Democrat Party. So this swatting thing is exactly the same modus operandi. They don't mind. Obviously he just did it for whoever would contact him. But we know that it was conservative representatives who got swatted over and over and over. Marjorie, whatever her name is, Marjorie got, I forgot her name, but that crazy House Republican. I mean, I like her. She's not. I like to say crazy, but in a good way. We have to be crazy today. She got swatted like 6 times, something like that. Who else got swatted? A bunch of like libertarian kind of guys. Representative, what's her name? I just want to get her name there. Marjorie Taylor Greene got swatted. She reported it on her, on her thing over and over, but no one really helped her. That's pretty amazing. And a Republican representative got swatted, and that's exactly what happened in the South. And the Democrats ruled with an iron fist. So you can certainly have this roving, scary gang that the prince or baron has no responsibility over their murderous lynching spree in the middle of the night, killing people, yet done by. So you got to have this hidden organization, this cult, this scary cult that goes around killing people who disagree with the baron, the prince, or whoever's in charge, and the church has to then come in and stop it. So yeah, just this is the face of evil. I'm assuming he's guilty. I'm assuming, so he could be innocent. So I guess I gotta say that. But they got his computers, they got his thing, whatever. I'm assuming he's guilty. So I could be wrong about that. I'm just going off of this news, and I looked at a couple other sources, CNN, and some other ones said that this is the guy. So I'm assuming it is, just based off the news. But I'm a Christian. He should not be mob attacked. He should not be swatted. He should not be beaten or murdered. He should be captured in a legislative law enforcement way, and then a trial, right? A witch trial. And there should be an inquisition and a witch trial, not a mob attack where you just hang him or lynch him. So I don't believe in that at all for anyone. That's why we don't believe in attacking abortion mills. We believe in having the people. Oh, I got the music going again. I forgot about that because I'm running the Foundry. What cool music are we listening to today? Star Wars Outer Rim Mellow. That's one I created. I composed that. That's an original. I just turned it off. So we don't believe in, obviously, we don't believe in. So the Christian RPG, when your missionaries go into a village or into a spaceport or whatever, you're seeing the oppression of these people. But why are they oppressed? Why are they slaves? What's going on? That's what you have to investigate. So you're there to save them, right? You're not there. You're there to fight the dragon, but you're there to establish a church and convince them to let you establish a church in there. It could be an underground church, so that they will build up the strength themselves to confront this evil. They will have hope in Jesus Christ to then go out and confront any other evil that comes up as you move on to the next thing. And you, in the story, you're actually bringing in your ministers from the church or from the, whatever, to come and set up that, or you set up the church, they minister it, and then you move on to the next mission or thing. But it's just a wonderful thing, man. You guys gotta look at this. Look at this as a Christian. We need to have Christian RPGers. We need to make Christian games. I am not against you playing non-Christian games. Okay, I'm not, but I am very vociferously against it at the moment because we don't have any Christian. Our Christian men are being lulled. We are voluntarily lulling ourselves, and so I'm just using hyperbole right now to get you to wake up and me that we need to have a Christian RPG group, culture, whatever, and it's fun. If you watch my stuff, man, we're having a great time. Now, again, I don't edit. I'm still working through. We're all, building our chemistry together. But and I'm still figuring out how to play a pagan, like a real pagan, not these D&D goofy pagans. I'm like and then being converted, I have to role play the conversion of a pagan if they're successfully can convince them, or they see something, and that's, to me, is very like I feel weird, but it's such a good, wonderful thing just for them to know that it's not just about fighting a beast, getting a treasure, and gaining a level. It's about like changing the hearts and minds of these people to give them their own courage, their own independence, to change the whole society, to readjust so that it's not about slavery, it's about freedom. A church is a center of freedom for a people. And remember, I don't know, it's just incredible because atheists think, oh, church, I'm going to be a slave to the church. No, well, that's what you're going to be told. You're going to be told white devils, because the evil has to teach you to fear good. Evil has to teach you to fear good, and you think that good is a white devil. If you believe good is a white devil, you will remain in your slavery. That's what the Democrat Party does. They call white supremacists, racists, and I'm saying Democrat Party because not enough, even Pastor John MacArthur, not enough Christians just call out who's evil. He says it. Pastor John MacArthur says the Democrat Party is evil, but he won't come out and say Democrat Party. He just says all the policies and things, and everyone knows what he's talking about. Everyone nods, but he should just say it. He said it once in a while, but he doesn't say it often enough, in my opinion. See, I can criticize my own pastor. I can criticize him. We can talk, and amongst our church, we can certainly say things like that. Like he's got a book called War on Children, which I have it in my reading book in my room. He just came out with a book called War on Children, and it's all about what the Democrats are doing. And he won't come out and say it, at least not in the intro and first chapter I've read so far. Yet he lists off everything. He mentions Hillary Clinton. He lists up, but he won't say Democrat Party, which is like, see, the pastor does not rule me. He's not my dictator. He serves me. The pastor is the teacher in the church and serves me and the elders. The only power that the pastor and elders have over me is whether I can be a member or not. That's it. It's the only, true power. Their main goal is to teach me about how to read the Bible, how to, and they don't have a power to change the Bible. They have to follow the Bible. Now you're like, oh, it's blah, blah. There's been 17 bazillion studies and linguists working on the Bible, getting it right. We have a whole contingency of historians and linguists that are constantly making sure that the Bible and the translations that we have are good. And that's a constant debate as well. So it's not like we aren't aware of the mistranslations or the little nuances of differences in the different translations. We are quite aware. And it's about a consensus of the best translation. How dare you watch a foreign film with subtitles? Because the subtitles are never accurately translated. So you're lying to yourself when you watch your little artsy fartsy foreign flicks, because their translations are not 100% accurate. So you can't watch those anymore. Yeah, it's like that stupidity. You can't do anything foreign then. You can't go anywhere foreign because you're gonna get the translation wrong. So don't get me started. Okay, so some Christian adventure ideas. Plus, I just decided to rant. I can't help myself. I gotta rant. All right. So those are some ideas, and I'm gonna try to do some more positive. I gotta promote this Kickstarter a little better. I'm just like, but please, if you can help out with the Kickstarter, and of course I say that at the very end of this video, if you can help with the Kickstarter and share it around, that would really be the best, because I don't know how to. I'm a Christian. I think it's very strange for the owner of the Kickstarter and or game to promote it in a grassroots way, when it's more important that the non-owner, other people that like it, can support it. So I'd really appreciate that from you guys. I really need that the most, is to get the word out. Whether people back it or not, I want other Christians to be aware of this possibility in their games. And whether they even buy my game or not, I want them to be aware that this is absolutely 100% the way to go. A possibility, whether they homebrew it, whether they steal the ideas that I got in there. I don't, when I say I don't even think they're mine. I think they're God. So I don't care. We just need more Christian RPGs. We need more Christian men vociferously evangelizing, rebuking, saying the gospel everywhere in the culture. And here's another thing. In Christian shows and movies, there's no evangelism. It's really annoying. The Pure Flix and all that, they have no evangelism in there's, it's all the movies and shows are about, oh, I need Jesus. I'm bad. That's all their shows are about. It's so lame. I personally don't care about your faith anymore in the sense of, I do, but I'm hyperbole here. I don't care about your faith anymore. Stop whining. What are you doing for Jesus? If you love something, you give up all your whininess. Give up your family and go do something for Jesus. And by giving up your family, what I mean is, so what if they're non-believers? Then why aren't you? So then spend all your time harassing them to become a believer. I'm a Calvinist, but whatever. I've experienced way too much of Christians whining about their own problems, and I have problems. But that's not the point. The point is, get out there and do something. Your problems doesn't matter. And I'm being extreme here, but I'm just saying. I just don't want to, and another criticism of my church, I'm still formulating this one, but I'm noticing most of the sermons are about how your faith. I'm like, what about the evangelism? There's a bit there, but I feel like it should be more, it should be way more evangelism in the gospel. Cause it's a new thing to me. It's new to me. now that I'm doing this, for Lord RPG. Evangelism and the gospel. I mean, it's always been there, but I've never. Anyway, I could keep going on and on. Okay, so thanks for listening. Please support this, like I said, and let others know about the Kickstarter and just the game that they can do this. Okay, and start your own, man. I need you to start your own games. Be a GM. Grand the Minister. All right, in the game of life, roll holy dice.